Today's session will be in career as a game developer. We will discuss about the in and out in a game development and its job roles and other stuff where you're going to get trained and what are the different trainings are provided and what are the skills that you can master to be a specialized game developer like that. So uh, what is a game developer then? In a conventional term, a game developer is who develop games. But in this industrial term, a game developer is a person who plays a lot of games and thinks like a things like a pro gamer, where he designs trap for the users, and he's an artist, and he visualizes the future than that which he may or may not see. And also in a lot of areas of the game development, a game developer is also a visionary, where he creates certain areas, certain imagination into the game, where we feel like we are so much involved in the game, and it's a like multiverse or metaverse concept in some sort of. So in the conventional term, it's a game developer is an individual responsible for designing, creating, and programming video games. They bring concepts to life by integrating art, animation, audio, and storylines into immersive gaming experiences. The market is thriving, and it's everyone, whether it's a gambling game, RPG, as I said, and a shooting game, a sports game, casual game, hyper casual game, any game you play, the people are playing games. People are engaged with their mobile phone, and they're consistently trying to find something to interact with. So when they get bored with social media, and people who are very much nerds and have social anxiety, people they uh, we play a lot of games. Okay, so playing a lot of games means there's a market share, and that market share in between the consumers, it's always rising. New newest hardwares coming into the market. People are getting hands on hand computers. They taste a lot of game. The things are mixed, but yeah, it's always growth. Then evolution of technology. So saying that we used to play game on a cardboard, talking about chess or ludo, which India have invented. uh, in the short of game, in the current scenario, if you see a PC game, mobile game, AR game, VR game, location based game, game on your web browser. Everywhere you go, people try to find a way to be interacting. The mostly, if you are not interacting with the person, you are trying to interact with the system. And the system getting a lot of evolution and revolution day by day, adding more power in terms of graphics, in terms of processing, and we are seeing more engaging, immersive gaming experiences with it. And also platforms, as you're saying, so diverse. I hope you understand platform. Platform is like it's a mobile platform, then computer platform, and AR, VR. There's a different sort of platforms, and also like your PlayStation and all other Xbox, like that. These are diverse platforms. So the platforms are rising, and along with that, the compatibility of the platform are also rising. So anyway, you're going to play a game or you're interacting with it. So this is the scenario, and this is the current market scenario of this game development. You see you may or may not understand the value in terms of money that it's generating, but you think yourself as a consumer of game, the first point. So when we have a mobile phone, whoever it is, they play the game. any game. Okay, talking about a Candy Crush from to a battleground game. And so it's there. Everyone at least has a one game in their mobile phone and they're playing it. So talking about mobile shares some market. It's a shares the maximum market, by the way, is a 48% market in the overall gaming industry. Then PC games, it's 23% overall. Then the browser PC games, as we're talking about, browser-based games on WebGL, Web Graphics Library. Then box downloaded PC games, you can see which we directly play on PC. And the console games, which are Xbox, PlayStation, Wii, Nintendo Switch, everything. Okay, smartphone games, you can see the tablet games are also there on one. So mobile games are divided into three parts. It's like mobile, tablet games, and smartphone games. Then PC browser-based games, they share the half of the market. Then all them share the half, and total it's 77.2 billion market right now, and it tends to grow. Okay, it's cumulative growth, and it's skyrocketing year by year. So uh, seeing that it's a game development, and you need to have some knowledge to operate a machine in terms of computer. Okay, with a personal computer or laptop or workstation, whatever you say. So the skills are fairly technical, and you have to be a proficient in a bit of programming. But nowadays, in all of the game engines, there's a rise of visual scripting, and I hope you understand what the visual scripting is. It's like a node based. You just drag and drop. If else conditions, loops, and everything, you just drag and drop it, put your value, and it will give you a code, or it will run it there. Uh, so the programming, then problem solving skills. Yes, that's the most uh, required qualification or skill you have to have to get into this industry or to learn game development. It's like the problems are new. Some of the problems you're going to have, which is common, because you may be copying some of others' idea, and while copying, you can see that how you can overcome a challenge. But if when you're designing something of your own, and the path is lonely, it's alone, you are alone, and if you don't have problem solving skill, you will struggle a lot. And when you'll be struggling, you have to have a community. You have to search with the right keyword that help you are looking for. Okay, so the problem solving skill, it's a mixed thing, and you have to have a bare minimum skill to at least to find solution. Okay, from the around the internet, or from your peers or network, or the community you're in. And yeah, so it's also creative field. The creativity and imagination are the must needed. So if you see the how Candy Crush game or any game that you play, CS:GO, CS:GO is retiring anyway. In any game you play, so it's being constantly updated for your sake, for you to give more attention towards the game. And it also fairly critical to think how much the creativity they put into a game. Okay, the developers. Okay, so seeing of for the if you from arts background, it will also help you, because creativity is one role you need if you want to get into the game industry. So there are roles like 3D modeling or 3D artist, animation, things are there, which doesn't need much of programming knowledge, but you can contribute in that team. Yeah, so the skills and qualification, what do you have? It's a career paths in game development. What are the different role you can play as a game developer in a gaming industry? So yes, you can start with a career as game designer. So game designer, it consists of designing a gameplay. Gameplay means you have to design a path. Okay, so from a user it's like a user experience or your player experience designing. Like that, you come at the first point, what level of complexity will be there in the first level, and the second level, how you're going to gradually increase the complexity in the game, and what are the different level of challenges you are going to implement and give the reward and to your player. Okay, so you have to design all these things. It's a role of a game designer. Then the game programmer, where I specialize in, uh, it's mostly writing code. You have to write a lot of code, and you have to write pseudo codes to make your teammates understand. Okay, so if you're in a junior level, your senior programmer will give you a pseudo code that how you can address a piece of challenge, and you how can overcome it with a with a code. So right now in the industry, we are seeing that there are visual scripting is also there. So it's not always code, but at least you have to have a coding mindset, or a kind of coder like thinking to actually contribute in that team. Then game artist, yeah, I was talking about that. So being from an artist or an art field, how you can, if you have interest, how you can contribute in that thing. It's like mostly if it's a 2D game, it's a 2D designs, 2D images, 2D sprites. We call it there's a concept of sprites in the industry, and it's mostly designing. Okay, and also being consistent in the design. So but it's like storyboarding. The first point when we start developing a game, the first thing we do is a storyboarding. And talking about a fair example of Marvel Comics. Okay, all of you know. I hope all of you know my Marvel Comics. If you know, give a thumbs up or say yes in the chat box. So Marvel Comics, say any Marvel movies that we are seeing right now, it's there in their Marvel Comics. Okay, from that comics, they kind of visualize the characters will be there, and how they're going to design the scene. What sort of power a superhero going to have, what sort of power a villain are going to have. Okay, so things are fairly technical, and there's the supreme thinking has to be there, and it's like you have to have artistic mindset for that. To talking about a 2D artist to a 3D artist, which is a 3D modeling and animation and that sort of stuff. Then game testing. So this is where junior level game developer first they get into. If you play a lot of game, and if you don't want to learn game development, that's another thing. But if you learn game development and you also play a lot of game, you can thrive in this career as a game tester. Okay, so people charge, as a freelancer game tester, also people charge a lot of money in the industry. Okay, so game tester, they test all the features and challenges uh, implemented by a developer. Then they give their feedback on that. They test it very critically, so that they can find out the faults, root causes, and bugs. Okay, and then different failing points, why it's failing. They have to give a feedback report, and based on that, we develop a work further on their feedback. Okay, so it's a like beta testing is what is done by the tester over here. So other than the regular field of software development, if you see, the beta testing concept is there. And beta testing, it's like mostly we are the common users. Sometimes we sign up as a beta tester and we test the app. But in game testing, it's like you can hack into the game if you know the back door. So nobody want to do that as a game producer. So they have a onboarded game tester, and they test the game. So if there's any backdoor or any sort of vulnerability things are there, they just mention it out, test it out, and they get the feedback and we work on that. Yeah, so these are the different career paths. So so seeing at the landscape, it's the you can think of something like, there is room for everyone. Okay, where you are a logical person, you are a nerd, play a lot of game, you have a role to play, you are artist, you have a role to play, you're a designer, you have a role to play. Everyone can contribute in that game. You just have to learn how the industry works, and tools and technologies are being used in the gaming industry.